This is GARIS Essays, that is 2 3-page opinion pieces on topics such as species dominance, the global state, politics, femtotech, religion, society and education. Written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de GARIS. This is essay number 39, part 2, entitled A Transhumanist Argument for the Existence of Gods. Ben Goertzel interviews Hugo de GARIS on his modest hypothesis that God is probably an alien mathematician. Part 2. So just continuing on from the previous part. Ben. Okay, so let's get back to the practical a bit. Right now your approach to deism is unusual, whereas religions like Christianity, Islam, Hinduism and Buddhism occupy most of the world's population. What do you think are the prospects for a broader acceptance of your form of mathematical deism? Do you think this will become a common religion amongst human beings as the singularity gets nearer? Do you think it can help people deal better with the unsettling nature of the technology-driven transformations to come? Perhaps making cosmism more appealing to people who are attached to some sort of religious point of view? Do you envisage the emergence of actual mathematical deist churches, where people sit and ritually collectively worship mathematical order, and the priest recites great theorems to the crowd? Where is this all going? Let me make this a bit bigger. Hugo. I spent about 30 years of my, actually more like 20 odd years of my life living in Western Europe, which is highly secular. Traditional religions have pretty much died out, especially in countries like the UK, Scandinavia, etc. People are becoming better informed about the basic principles of science, so will be more accepting of a science-based deism. But since this is a rather intellectual conception, it may only be popular with the sages, my word for the intellectual high IQ types. I intend writing a book in the future on sageism, which hopefully will raise people's consciousness that sages are discriminated against in the modern world. As the species dominance debate, that is, should humanity build Artlex this century or not, heats up in the next few decades, the cosmists, that is, people who want to build Artlex, will use the building gods argument as one of their strongest to persuade people to choose to build Artlex. As secularism becomes more widespread, as theism dies, then the Darwinian religiosity components of our brain can then be satisfied with a science-based religion of the cosmists. That is cosmism, the ideology in favour of building Artlex. I see the religiosity argument of the cosmists being their strongest. Will there be cosmist churches? Maybe, for the less intelligent. Churches are for the masses. Cathedrals evoke a religious response. They are bigger than a human being, making people think about higher things than where their next meal will come from. Maybe some reader of this essay will start the Globan Cosmist Church. Globa is the name I give to a global state, the topic of my second book, Multis and Monos. See it on Amazon.com. Or you can download it for free from my website. Go to Books Written tab. I've seen a video on YouTube of some Scandinavian guy invoking the name of Turing as a future god, with religious gestures and incantations using words such as the bit, the byte, etc. It was quite hypnotic. I felt like rushing out into the street shouting, "I've been forgiven of my bugs, saved by the great compiler in the sky." But how about you? What's your view on deities and math? Have you given the question much thought? Ben. I do feel there's something deeply spooky in the universe related to the omnipresence of subtle math structures in the universe. And I've had my share of strange spiritual experiences which have made me sometimes feel very directly in contact with transhuman intelligences, not necessarily creators of universes, but intelligences that aren't human. So at a gut level, I do feel there are intelligences greater than ours out there somehow. But whether these intelligences created our universe or somehow co-evolved with it via some self-organizing process, on that I really have no strong intuition. I find that the older I get and the more I think about the singularity and the real possibility of transhuman intelligence, the more humbled I am regarding the tremendous ignorance of the human race and our limited capability to understand the universe. Do these words of ours, like deity, mathematics, and create, really say anything much about the universe? Or are they pretty much as limited as a dog's conceptual vocabulary compared to how a post-singularity mind is going to understand things? Hugo: gosh, I didn't know you had experiences with higher powers. Do you take them seriously or interpret them as happening while you're in a certain state? Ben: I suppose I take them about as serious as I take anything else, which is to say, not totally. I go through my life intensely aware that Hume's problem of induction is not solved. That is, we have no sound logical or empirical reason to believe the sun is going to rise tomorrow just because it's risen on so many previous days. Every time you pick your foot up and then set it down again, assuming the ground is still going to be there, you're making a leap of faith. So I suppose I interpret my peculiar spiritual experiences about the same as I interpret all my other experiences. If I find out there are superintelligences out there, I won't be shocked. And nor will I be shocked if I find out this world we're living in is just some video game created by some bug-eyed alien in his kindergarten programming class, and that he got a bad grade for his project because the humans in his creation are so extremely stupid. Nor will I be shocked if it turns out the modern scientific consensus view is correct, and we're the only intelligent life forms in a physical universe that was created by nobody for no purpose whatsoever. The main point to me is to improve our intelligence and our wisdom and our scope so that we can understand more and more of the universe and ourselves. I don't know if there's a deity or if our universe is a simulation, nor if the deity is a mathematician, if there is one. But I'm sure I'll understand these ideas better if I can multiply my intelligence by a factor of 100. If I'll even be me at that point. Anyways, ... Okay, that's it. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. YouTube channel name Hugo de Garis. Ciao.